system is just telling us that you're going to
hey,
die in 5
graphics.
seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait, I'm going to adjust
Duck
this.
and roll. Get underneath the.
We live in California.
Absolutely. All right, so if you hadn't noticed, we're sitting over here. Everybody's kind of wearing these Richmond, California shirts. See that? There it is. Strategically placing our iPhone camera. All right. So Richmond, California, established 1905. Yeah, you need a corkscrew. Wine key, my bad. So established in 1905. You give us a little bit more history about this. Well, first of all, this shirt, okay? Because there's obviously something going on with the shirt, and we want to know who's creating this and what are you trying to do with the outreach? This is your baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing as far as giving back to Richmond through apparel?
Right. Yeah, and that's the goal, like figuring that out. I think for me it's about, one, putting Richmond in a better spotlight. I mean, Richmond, from the outsiders who don't live in Richmond, you know, if you live in the Bay Area, whenever you say, all right, I live in Richmond, there's always negative connotation associated with that. So the first part is putting Richmond in a better spotlight, telling our story, the people who live here, the people who are from here. Because we know the beauty of the city. You know, it has its problems, but...
What city doesn't?
What city doesn't, yeah. And I mean, you know, I like to say the future is Richmond. We're forging our way to a new future that includes everyone. So I had some ideas of donating some of the sales back to different nonprofit organizations, making sure that people are included in the experience of wearing the brand. You know, I have some pretty big goals in the future that I would like to see come to life. So the whole thing is about giving back to the community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I commend you for doing that and stepping up and actually, trying to give Richmond a better better look, because it's always gotten a kind of a, you know, Richmond and Oakland, like, oh, tough thug areas.
Right.
You know, it's not all like that.
Yeah.
Every city has its good spots and its bad spots, but Richmond has a lot more to offer. I mean, what else do you have? What do you foresee as far as a line goes when you're talking about T-shirts, branding, like Richmond? What's the point?
Right.
And
That's we were talking about that.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Point Richmond, right?
Exactly.
There's certain parts, there's different aspects of Richmond, different areas, different regions where, you know, you got industrial, you've got your, you got urban wineries here, you got wine, you know, downtown restaurants, waterfront restaurants. There's so much that Richmond has to offer. So how, through apparel, are you going to look to do that? Is it something that you're going to associate with each particular individual area, or are you just going to kind of wing it and see where it goes?
Yeah, that's a good question. It'll be a little bit of a mix. I think right now we're winging it. We're focusing on 3 shirts per quote-unquote season. So this is like the start of it. Yeah, ultimately we're going to go worldwide, but we're starting with like three shirts per season. This is the first like prototype that we're running with. But yeah, I want to highlight the Richmond Greenway. I want to highlight different neighborhoods. And I think of the clothing line as like a launch pad. You know, I do want to get into food. I want to get into after school programs and, you know, encouraging the youth to like go above and beyond of what we're taught to see and live here in Richmond. Like there's so much more. You know, I went to school for graphic design, and like seeing how design like opened my perspective to like different people, different backgrounds, and just being more open-minded in general. So I think just encouraging, that's why it starts with like the youth, because, you know, that's where we have to target them first. They are the future. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So after school programs, I want to get into food. I want to get into art. My like I said, being a graphic designer, one of my goals is to bring good design to Richmond and like elevating, that palette, so to speak, but also giving people the opportunity to, see the future that they have for themselves.
So the apparel, the brand, and the graphic designs that you're creating, it's just a stepping stone to like maybe perhaps show the youth this is what you can do.
Right.
If you have an idea, you can take it and you can run with it.
Right.
And put it out there as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Hop in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to that point,
it is about community, correct?
It is. It's all about community. And like with the shirts, like I want to. Oh yeah.
So.
Want to jump in?
Yeah, jump on in.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the shirt.
Hey, Jarvis, they don't want to look at your butt. So.
Not everybody's into that.
So talking about community, we had the community down here at the Grape Nest goes wide and goes far, and we have some individuals that come in here, and Keelan is one of them. He's one of our staples. He's sitting down here at the wine. He's a regular norm at the end of the bar. And Keelan, welcome to the podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. Thank you for having me.
Maybe turn that mic in there a little bit. Just get it in there a little closer so it's louder. Test it.
Testing.
Yeah, a little closer. Yeah, the closer you can get, the more we're going to be able to hear you out there.
Okay.
All right, Keelan. Let me first. Let's start by asking you, what are you drinking right now?
Right now, I am drinking a Syrah. I'm not exactly sure on which Syrah it is, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Everything and anything here is pretty much up to scale in my point. Usually, I would go out and go shopping and have a hit and miss type of day. But when you come to the Grape Nest, it is you're gonna like something.
Yeah.
You're gonna like something.
So what you're trying to tell me is that there's something here for everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. And speaking of everybody, there is a large array of folks that come here. Black, white, large, small.
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot for sure, and you can find pretty much any type of person here.
The demographics are wide.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And as far as like image-wise, like also knowledge-wise, like the type of person that comes here is
Trivia pursuit over here.
Yeah.
So you might come here and see the mayor. You might come here and see somebody who works from Chevron, or somebody who works from the city of Richmond, or someone who's selling sweatshirts.
Or an author. We had an author here the other day. She's selling her books. Yeah, absolutely. There are several different, all walks of life walk through this door. And there's some that we some people walk in here, we need to escort out. But that only happens once or twice. What's that? He's drinking a Petite Syrah.
It's delicious. I feel like it's like a deep red. You can taste the notes. Oh man, you got me on some.
Are you tasting black currant? Are you tasting? Is it fruit forward? Do you get the terroir? You get the earth in it?
For me, it tastes very grapey. It tastes dark. I feel like I can taste like the skin of the grape.
Oh, there you go.
In my wine, and I love it. And I didn't think that I would like it.
Okay, so interesting enough, the color of this
is super dark.
Is very dark. So that tells me that the skins were left on for quite some time. That's where the color comes from, okay. By leaving the skins in the juice, and it's ripening and fermenting in the either it's steel tank or in the barrel. And then they remove the skins at a later time. But the longer you leave the skins on, the deeper and the darker the red wine becomes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you learn something new every day.
It's just what I learned. You're working in Monterey Peninsula Winery, my uncle's winery down in Monterey back in the early 70s. I'm dating myself now. But yeah.
The best person to date is yourself.
What's that?
The best person to date is yourself. Before
Oh,
you date
okay.
anyone else.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think I could handle myself on a date. Okay.
So Keelan's like our third guest right now, right?
Yeah.
It's usually just me and Paul and Andrew here. And Keelan, tell us about yourself. Where you start, you know?
Okay. My name's Keelan, and I have a son, and he's 13 years old. I am also a scholar. I go to school at Contra Costa College for civil engineering.
Nice.
And this is my last semester. I'll be transferring soon. I work for the city of Richmond, and
Yeah, what capacity?
second,
In what capacity at City of Richmond?
I am helping out the traffic engineers there and putting up stop signs and blue curbs and red curbs and anything that's traffic sign related.
Okay. DPW type stuff.
You said DPW?
DPW?
What is that?
Department of Public Works?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm still learning the abbreviations.
I'm Jarvis. I'm a wine alcoholic.
I'm jealous because I still don't have a glass of Z. What? You got me a new glass, but that thing's not open yet.
I get the key. They call it the key.
The wine key, yes. That's what you call it. I mean, in the industry, you do definitely call it a wine. When I'm a bartender, I go to work at these different festivals, and I will say, bring your wine key, and that's basically it's just a corkscrew, But
Yeah, I feel like I'm not professional at wine, and I'm still learning. Like when I come here, I ask Marlina as many questions as possible about.
yeah, that's the only way to learn.
Yeah.
Just like with cigars when we were talking, you're quizzing me on that because I'm kind of aficionado when it comes to cigars.
Yeah, like one day I want to go to a cigar bar and smoke me a little cigar with the OGs up in there.
I thought of opening a cigar bar down here, but
That's Marlina's special key now.
You go down to a cigar bar in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Occidental, the Occidental.
I don't know anything about cigars.
I have no idea. But if you go to
Yeah.
the cigar bar, they have a killer salsa.
Okay.
You get the cigar, apparently they have a really good burger.
Okay.
Like if you're doing salsa, they have salsa dancing like almost every night.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's over by it's in that alley by Bix. Yeah, it's by Bix.
Yeah, it's more like the Jackson Square area.
It is nice because there is salsa dancing in the next door in that area. But yeah, that cigar bar is the bomb.
Yeah, I've
All right, so I'm pouring the Z. I'm gonna have to let this open up a little bit. I didn't bring it today. I didn't bring it. Aerate this. So just the initial. Oh, sorry. That's the boss. She wants her key back.
Yeah, the boss she wants her key back.
Okay, so the initial aroma. It's just kind of I'm just trying to get that, the very light in the aroma that's coming out of there right now because it's just opened up. It's not even, I just opened the bottle, just poured it. There's no oxygen in it, so no, it's just getting there.
I
That
really love my
that that
wine.
revives it a little bit. I mean, it brings it up.
You like fruit
mix-
forward wine.
Fruit forward is okay. It all depends, on what type of wine you're drinking. On a Zin, it's kind of good to have a little fruit forward. I also want a lot of earthiness. I like spice in a Zin, but not all Zins carry that. It just kind of depends on the winemaker and what region. I mean, you go somewhere up in Stag's Leap district where like Dan Duckhorn has the Paradox. Volcanic soil really stresses the grapes and makes it really difficult for them to grow, so they have to really work. So the structure of the wine is really good, and the flavor of the earth, you could taste it in the wine. I mean, you could taste the terroir, they call it. Basically, it's dirt. It's just fucking dirt. And it tastes good sometimes when it's in a glass of wine.
Yeah, the other day Marlina was telling me about the ashes of like burning trees or something like that, or the ashes of land or something like that.
You could taste it.
You can taste it.
Well,
but it makes
well, we had all those fires, right, up in the wine region, and yeah, you can taste actually, because we're just getting some of that wine now, that's been harvested from those fires back in 18, 19, 20, and there's definitely a distinct difference in some of those wines.
Did anyone notice that we had some smoke today? Was it smoky today to anybody here in the Bay Area? Was it smoky? Like, do you hear any? I hear it, smell.
I think that's just Chevron.
It might be Chevron, but I swear, like, it was like honestly, like, kind of smoky this morning.
I'm in between two worlds, like either with wildfires or Chevron.
Yeah, I didn't see much this morning.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just my nose or something.
No, you know this right.
I did see when I was driving, coming back yesterday. Was it yesterday? There was a fire on Angel Island.
Really?
I could see it, because when I come up over the hill towards my house, I could see Angel Island, and there was smoke, and that's not typical. It's not. There's no industry. There's no nothing on Angel Island that would produce smoke besides a fire, So I'm hoping that nothing really got out of control over there, but.
Well, I mean, the sirens went off yesterday.
The sirens go off every Wednesday at noon, all right, or at 11, and it's just meant for. It's kind of a thing like warning you that so if case Chevron's gotta blow that horn, and you stay in and shelter in place, but that also no. When that goes off, there's a group that I'm a member of, and we test our radios, right?
Do you remember that sound that used to go like?
Yeah, that's the emergency alert system.
Yeah, it still happens.
The emergency alert system.
Yeah, but what was it? Was it a tornado? It wasn't just.
No, they'd use it for any disaster that was happening.
Yeah, it's just a test. And it happens like every day at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
They're always tests, and hopefully you don't see that in the middle of the day, because that means some shit's going on.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I never seen that like active, but the whole Chevron thing. Yeah, if you don't hear that on a Wednesday, then yeah, close the windows.
So I always ask Marlina, you can hear me. So we get the alert, right? Let's say we get the alert, and whatever, right? Do I shelter in place, or do I run for my life?
You're supposed to listen to the alert, and they would tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You have to continue to listen to the alert for instructions, for further instructions. Oh my God.
What does the alarm actually tell me what to do?
It's testing.
Grab your bong, fire up a bowl.
We pour rosé,
That's amazing. What would I do? I don't know. I mean, it depends. If it said there's a nuclear bomb coming at me,
I'm opening up a bottle.
I'd be probably. I'm looking at the best bottle of wine I got, or the best bottle of scotch, and I'm gonna enjoy my last few moments on this planet.
Light your cigar.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's last call.
Last call. What? What time is it? What the hell? 8 o'clock. What are you talking about? Last call. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Yeah. All right. So I like this Zin. You guys need to try some of this.
Okay. My deep dark red is doing it for me. I tried some white today, and I realized I'm a Chardonnay type of guy.
Oh.
The buttery Chardonnay.
The malolactic fermentation. You got to have that. It's the butter.
I've had an unfiltered Chardonnay.
Okay. Unfiltered.
Yeah, very different. The texture is different.
Okay.
A little bit more.
Whose is that?
So there's a winery. Throw a plug in there. There's a winery up in Napa. Napa? Yeah, called Black Stallion.
Oh, I know Black Stallion.
Yeah, Black Stallion. They have a really good
absolutely.
unfiltered Chardonnay.
They're like right across the street from. God. It's not that. Man, I'm drawing a blank.
Where's that?
Black Stallion. They got some cool chocolate in there too.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of the name of the winery that's across the street from.
Is it Chimney Rock?
Maybe.
No,
I know
no.
it's close to one of the Raymond-owned wineries.
Yeah, it's a different area. Chimney
Deloche?
Rock.
Is it
Deloche.
Deloche?
Could be. Yeah.
I
I don't know. I haven't been in that region a lot. I'm up in the Stag's Leap area a lot because Pine Ridge is one of my go-to wineries. I've been a member there since '95, and I can't say enough about that place. So I mean, I drive by that area, but I know Black Stallion because my friends, the Odas, were members there at one time, and I think my sister was a member there too. I remember when they were first building that place, you know. And you go in there before it's completed, and they're tasting out in a little shack outside, you know, one of those temporary buildings, and really good. Like I remember Letzen was like that too before they built this grand mansion. Letzen was part of Jeff Bridges was part of that, the actor. About certain wineries up in Napa that you go to them before they're actually open, right? Like they're building the real big winery portion. Like Ledson was one of these places where I became a member and bought futures, and they're pouring wine out in a small, like, you know, temporary building. Well, they're building the other thing. But me as a contractor, I drive right up and I just walk right in that place, and I'm talking to these guys and talking to the contractors in there, and then they're just building this grand staircase with like dual, I mean, it's like something out of Dynasty, you know, these dual like ramps going up, you know, a circular motion, and the woodwork is just, I mean, the fine woodworking that they're putting into this place, they're sparing no expense. And so Jeff Bridges, one of the actor Jeff Bridges, he was part of like the initial winemaking of that place, and he made one of his wines there. So, you know, places like that, and like we were talking about Black Stallion. Black Stallion was like that too. Before they actually opened up the building, you could go taste the wines in a little, you know, portable, you know, like we used to go to the portables when we were at school, and, you know, and they didn't, you know.
Would you say that each winery have their own theme? Their own kind of flavor? Because when I went on a wine tasting, I went to, you know, each distillery had their own kind of signature type of flavor.
Absolutely.
You know? Like there was a one winery, I don't remember all the names, but it was very earthy. It almost tasted like a tea type of wine. It was weird, but it was their signature, I guess because of the environment. You know, he said that, well, the environment brings this type of flavor and stuff like that.
Each winery is going to reflect pretty much what the owners want to bring forth, whether they want to make a gimmick type wine or just classic style wines. Each specific winery, to me, that's why I've been members of probably 24 different wineries from time to time, and in the different regions, they all have their own character. Basically, what they're trying to, what I believe, like Acacia was one of these wines. Beautiful Pinots, beautiful Chardonnays, and they would reflect, basically the grapes and what that area had to offer, right? Like you quote unquote, you have the Amador County wines, you have the Russian River wines, and they're all characteristically kind of different, The Russian River is going to be way different than Stag's Leap. Stag's Leap, you have your big reds, you have there's over 200 different types of soils that are in the Stag's Leap area, in this one small area. So you get these fantastic wines, they're all over the map. I mean, with flavors and earth. Whereas you go to like this Central Coast or some of the regions up above Russian River, where it's cooler areas, or you go up into Anderson Valley where where it's really cool, and they're growing Pinot Noir grapes that are like out of this world, because Pinot Noir is one of the toughest grapes to grow. And up in Anderson Valley, they make some of the best Pinots up there. Dan Duckhorn makes his up there, and it's incredible. It's that's the thing about California, is you could go from place to place, and you could find, like what you're just talking about, like a different theme, a different flavor, a different aspect, just because of the region that you're in. And what's so great about it is there's a bunch of them right here, right here in Point Richmond, right? And Marlina does a really good job of bringing not only California wines together, but we've got, well, like I said, we've got this Portuguese wine here. You got wine from Italy. It's not just one. It's not a one-stop shop. I mean, this is a shopping center for the taste buds right here in Point Richmond.
Wait, I was gonna say. So we have Marlina is here.
Ah.
Do you want to jump in, Marlina? Say hello.
Come on in here.
Hello to the fans.
We had Marlina on, what was it, podcast number 4, but we could barely hear.
Right.
All right, sporting to Richmond. Absolutely.
Richmond, Point Richmond.
You want to get
California.
that camera there? Marlina, welcome to podcast number 7. Why don't you give us your impression of the 2 wines that we're drinking tonight? We got the Z. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you obviously picked these wines because of the characteristics and the expectation that people would love them, and I think you did a damn good job, because I'm drinking. I had both today, tasting both. Not that I'm like drinking unmindfully now, okay, but I'm just doing my research here. What about the 2 appeal to you?
Lago is Portugal. Bright, refreshing. This is summer drinking right here. So this is why I'm pulling this out now, getting into spring. You want to go a little bit lighter, a little bit fresh, citrusy. The winter brings in the reds. You got the Rhones, you've got the Beaujolais, you've got those heavy, dark reds through the winter. So I wanted to bring something out in the summer that's a little bit more light and refreshing. Porch drinking is what I call that.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just throw it back.
It's a porch pounder is what they call them in Texas, is a porch pounder.
Yes, it's a porch pounder.
Not.
Yeah. Now that is a different Zinfandel than I think I've ever tasted, to tell you the truth. Sierra Foothills, it's up past Placerville.
Amador
Jeff
County.
Winquist is who makes this wine, and Jeff Winquist is known for his quality wine. So I was eager when he called me about tasting what he's got, and this to me stood out. It's a very different Zinfandel. It's more fruit forward. It's not as peppery and earthy as a Zinfandel usually is. Again, you could drink this through the spring or the summer. It's lighter. It's not a heavy, complex Zinfandel. It's just right. It's got all the elements it needs, and it's rich.
Yeah, and that's
And I
one
like
thing that's one thing
it's
that
rich on the palate.
it did appeal to me that way. To where it wasn't so peppery, didn't have the characteristics of a
It's
special,
different, right.
almost the softness of a Pinot, to where you could drink it with like lamb.
Right.
If you had a nice lamb chops, it would go perfect with it. Or it could still stand up to a steak, a nice red
I
steak.
think it's a red you can drink
Or veal.
through the spring and summer.
Yeah.
Usually people shy away from the reds in that time of year. They do. That's just naturally, they progress to the whites, the Chardonnays, the lighter blends. This, I think you can drink in the summer.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
It's not too heavy and too peppery.
Can I back up just a little bit? You talked about Rehnquist, Jeff, right?
Jeff, yeah.
Jeff, now this is a contemporary of yours, so you have these connections from when you were selling and buying in the wineage, or you were selling throughout.
Yeah, I covered all of California.
Yeah.
Southern, northern.
So
we
you
distributed
have these
all these great
contacts.
wines.
You have these contacts of these people that you could rely on that call on you all the time, and that kind of gives you a little bit more insight to some of the things some of the newer things that are happening here in California, at least, to where you could just bring it to the public right here. Because you're with your inside knowledge. This is one of the things I love about the Grape Nest. Is not only do I have an owner that cares about her community, but actually knows about the community in the wine community. This is you don't
It's a
get
big
that often.
community. There's a lot of wine, and there's a lot of competition, and everybody wants their wine out there. I mean, I get emails all day, every day, of people that want to put their wine in a place like mine. Boutique is what they call it.
Yeah.
A smaller, very community-driven place to put your wine. So I'm very particular. I have a very hard palate to impress. So that's why I say these are carefully curated, because I have meetings all the time, and some of it just doesn't impress my palate. And if it doesn't impress my palate, I'm not going to bring it in. I look for those under the radar, really quality wines that people don't know about. People don't know about the Saperavi. It was a new grape, and I felt like I learned that just a few years ago. So I'm constantly learning about new grapes, new regions, and I want to share that. I want to find those things that you've never heard of before. I want to bring those wines to your attention so you know what to look for when you go to the next place. That's what I do. That's what I love about my job.
That's why I like
Finding
walking.
new grapes, finding new wines, and then bringing them to you guys and my community. And I want your opinion. It can't just be about my palate. My palate's very hard to impress, but I want your opinion. And so far, it's going really well.
Absolutely. That's what I like about walking through the front door here. You never know what you have in store for you. There could be something here, fantastic from California, but there's some obscure winery from South America that you've pulled in, some Chilean wine.
That's the fun of wine.
Yeah.
That's the fun about wine, is that it's always conversation. That's what wine does. You bring a good bottle of wine to the table, and it's a good conversation is going to follow it. That's just how it goes.
And you get people like Keelan that come in here, and he wants to learn about wine.
Absolutely.
And he's
I
getting
love
an
that.
education
Those are
and
the best customers. I love the questions. I love I've never had this before. That's music to my ears when I hear that.
Well, you're doing a service
course.
to this community, that's for sure.
I do. I pay attention to the seasons. Because I'm in the business so long, I've always paid attention to how the market works and fluctuates. And it's just how it goes. The warmer the weather, the lighter the wine. And I've learned that years ago. So here comes the spring and summer. I'm paying attention to those whites, those light wines. When we get back into the fall and the winter, I'm focused on the dark reds, the Rhones, the stuff that's going to keep you warm, right? So I pay attention to the seasons and the wine.
Listen, it seems like you're very actively engaged into
I am. I absolutely am. I mean, that's what I did for a long time, and I feel like I'm still doing it every day. We're looking for great wine, and we're looking to bring it to the community.
Looking for Mr. Good Wine.
Yes, looking for Mr. Good Wine. That's right.
Before coming here, I would go to the liquor store, blow some dust off some wine.
And I don't want people to do that. No, that there's better quality.
I won't get any education on the wine that I'm drinking. I'll be like, well, I hope this is good. I hope this is really good.
This is what separates me from the rest, right here. That what point he just made is that people do tend to just gravitate to. I'm just going to buy a red. I don't care. I don't know. I'm just going to buy a white. But I want you to come in here and know you're going to learn something. You might find a new wine. You might leave with something that you've never heard of before, and that's kind of the magic of the Grape Nest. It really is. You know, I love introducing new wines to people. Every time I open a Grenache or Saperavi or a Sangiovese, people are like, "What is that? Ah, I love that." Then I get to go into it. Like, you know what this is? This is from the region of Chianti, and I feel like I'm educating, and not only that, but I've opened your eyes to something new. You know what I mean? And next time you're going to pay more attention before you order the next wine or buy the next bottle, right? You're gonna come back to the Grape Nest?
Absolutely. That's where we want you to come, because you could get it all right here at the Grape Nest. Not only...
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Marlina, for joining us. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of coming here is that you don't have to always have a hit and miss when you're picking out a wine. She'll definitely make sure that you're set and your flavor of what you want to taste.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of about, and that's kind of the community that she's kind of embracing and I guess cultivating here. Not only a bunch of people who are curious about wine, but enjoy wine. And then we do it all together. That's the great thing. This melting pot that we have down here. And then you have a potluck down here, or a bunch of people get together, and then there's some music, live music. And tomorrow night, actually, if you're into trivia, Friday night they're going to be doing trivia down here at the Grape Nest. I will not be here. I'm going to be at the Golden One Center watching my Warriors thump down the Kings.
Of course.
I'm dressing in my blue and my gold, and I'm going full force up in there, up in the Golden One Center.
Yeah.
Hopefully we win.
Yeah, that's another great thing about coming here is that the events. I've came here plenty of times, and there were just food all around, music going, and I was like, who wouldn't want to be here?
Yeah. Absolutely. All inclusive. Chris, jump on in here, man. We got Andrew's brother, Chris.
Oh, this is your brother?
Yeah, this is my brother. So Chris is he's actually the one who started the idea for 1905.
Oh, okay.
Over 5 years ago.
Oh, so he get a piece of the cut. He get a part of the cut.
So now, wait, what was you had something going on again at one of our local gyms at East Brother Brewery the other day, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. So I had a fundraiser for young people in Richmond who are going off to college.
Okay.
Just having the community come out and show support to them, and East Brother is a partner of Richmond Promise, the organization that I work with, and at the end of the night, they donated a portion of all of their proceeds from the day to a portion of the proceeds, I should say, to Richmond Promise. So great way to bring people out from the community. let young people know that Richmond supports them on their journeys to and through education, and just a great way to bring people together.
Yeah, Chris is one of the owners there. He's a really community-based, he loves giving back as much as he can. So this was primarily for the people who work the nonprofit, right? Well, let's face it. You're promoting kids, right? The youth and education, right? And they're all coming out of high school.
Living in Richmond, and they are recipients of our Richmond Promise scholarship. So it's a scholarship that young people can receive up to 6 years of their college education.
Wow.
Or 8 years if that young person is either active or veteran military, which is a little bit more rare. So for the most part, our students are receiving their scholarship for up to 6 years. And we're currently serving about a little over 1,300 students actively pursuing higher education at about 200 plus colleges and universities around the country. So young folks from Richmond are finding programs, institutions of higher learning all over the country, and they're doing great things. And again, it was a really great opportunity for just Richmond community members to show them their support.
That's awesome.
And drink beer too.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Obviously the youth, the kids aren't there, right. or maybe they're there.
They're not there.
They're not there drinking beer. That's for sure.
We had a couple alumni come back and be able to meet the folks that are supporting them, but no, it wasn't quite an event to have the college students themselves come back and attend.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, you had the fundraiser there, and they were getting money. Where else? If somebody wants to give to Richmond Promise, how do they go about making donations, or where are we finding the funding for this terrific program?
Absolutely. If you want to support Richmond Promise or learn more about our organization, you can visit www.richmondpromise.org. Really simple. We have a giving page on the website. You can do richmondpromise.org/give. We have a great video on the website that is including our students, and they talk about the impact that the program has had on them. So you can hear from our students directly. And you can always contact me. My email is cwhitmore@richmondpromise.org. Contact me if you want to learn more. Always happy to talk to folks and let them know about the work that we're doing.
That's awesome. And you can reach out to the Grape Nest as well. We'll forward anything that any information that you want to get from Chris. We'll definitely hook you guys up, because we want to make sure that program flourishes here in Richmond, California. Right here.
These are great sweaters.
These are gorgeous. I'm waiting for the hoodie to come out.
Right?
Where's the hoodie?
Next step.
Is that next? Yeah.
I want to shout out my brother Andrew. Did a great job designing these. Really, really talented designer. Really talented artist, and also really involved in the community. Really, really great spirit and energy we have in Richmond. So, shout out to my brother Andrew for sure.
I'm going to shout out to my brother too, because this is actually his idea. He came up with this idea over 5 years ago, and so we've been going back and forth and working together. We've been on pause for a little bit, and so just figuring everything out. So it's been a long time coming, and so we're both excited to finally have it to this level.
Well, you guys made it. You made it through a pandemic, and here we are. You got shirts on people's backs right now. That's awesome.
And it's cool to walk in and see so many people wearing them already. We just got these. Well, Andrew just got these a couple days ago, and
I was telling him I was 2 nights ago, or that was last night. I can't remember. That was last night. I was down at the other winery, Rigger's Loft, right? I'm a facilities manager down there. I'm working with Kevin, the owner, and we're fixing one of the roll-up doors. And I go into the back. I'm wearing the shirt, and Adam, who makes Far West ciders.
Oh, I know Adam.
And Adam and Andrea, his sister, they're back there, and they go, "I want that shirt." Yeah. Immediately, like, "I want that shirt," and I go, oh, you like it? I go, yeah. I go, like, man, this guy just my buddy's making them right now, and he goes, we need that gear. We need that gear because they go out, they represent, they're business owners here in Richmond, California, and they go out to farmers markets and stuff, and we go, we want some Richmond gear. We want to represent, and I'm going, all right, I'll put you in touch.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like immediately. I mean, everybody who's seen this when I'm walking around, I mean, just in 2 days, are like, I want one.
That's awesome. It's so accessible that like the style is just a really classic look, and it fits so many different styles and preferences. So Andrew did a really great job designing this, and it's really crazy because Andrew put this design together, I want to say about a year or two ago, and posted it on Instagram about a year or two ago, and had a really good response. And it was always like, okay, when are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? When are we going to do it?
Let's stop talking about it. Let's do it, right?
I'm really proud of Andrew and really happy to see that his design is finally on some sweaters, and it's really great to see people representing Richmond in a really positive way. We're really proud of where we're from. This is a really great community, and it's awesome to see people just being proud and happy about where they're living.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's going to blow up. It's he came in here with a box 2 days ago.
I walked in with a box of sweaters 2 days. Actually, Marlina was the first person to ever wear a sweater. She was the first person to ever put this
That's
sweater
fitting.
on.
That's fitting. That's fitting.
So it was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Marlina's also just done a really awesome job bringing a community gathering space here in Point Richmond and in Richmond. It's always nice to have places to hang out and be able to build community and relax after a long day, or come and spend a weekend here, weekend day here, just hanging out. So, I think it's definitely really fitting that Marlina got to wear the first one. And she's played a part in just having a community space in Richmond. So, just really happy to be able to have debuted this here.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to have a place to come kick your heels up and just like you're in your own front living room, and have a glass of wine at the same time. Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing Richmond Promise with us. We definitely want to put that word out there, and all the good work that you guys are doing there. That's just amazing.
Creativities you're going to be sharing with us, or is
I hope so. I hope so.
some more product coming, some hats and some gloves.
Yeah, we definitely need some hats, some
Some
beanies.
hats for sure.
Yeah, I need a hat. I got it's getting cold.
Yeah, hopefully this is just a start, but it's been really fun to come up with designs and be able to work with my brother, and Richmond's a really creative place, and there's a lot of ways that we can express our gratitude and appreciation for our community. So really excited to see what else we're able to come up with together.